This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy, but with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigi, and thank you for your support.
I have to read this?
No.
We'll just go back and forth.
Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy.
Right.
Do it straight
I'm
from your
not
computer or
prepared.
phone, uploading one of the
You didn't
pre-approved
prepare me right.
Okay, then you don't have to do it. I'll just do it. I can do it.
along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a to-go card with a full
Where's the
year of
one you gave me from
discounted rides.
before?
For questions
I
or
don't know what you
translation
did with
help,
it.
call 612-373-3333.
So I could read it all.
612-373-3333.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots
We
Radio
just have
with
them
Minneapolis
questions on
Air.
it, that's all.
AIR stands
That's
for
exciting.
American
You just
Indian
sent it to me
Relations.
like a half hour
Guest
ago.
host
This
Christine
is from
McDonald
Morning
talks to people
Counts.
about
But that's
important
not
things
until half the
affecting the
show. Don't
city's
worry about
Native
it.
community.
What's the
Minneapolis
other
Air
stuff
dives
that you
into
gave
topics
me? You
like
gave me
public
some other
safety,
shit that I read
health,
before. It's different
elections,
than
and
this.
so much
It's
more.
this right
Tune into
here.
Minneapolis
That's
Air
not
on
what you
Native
gave me
Roots
to
Radio
read
from 5 to
before.
6 p.m.
Before you
on the
gave me
second
another
Wednesday
sheet
of
that
every month,
said,
right here on
we're
AM 950.
collective and
Heart
we're this and we.
That's what
Your
this
heart
says
is
down here.
so many things. It
Well, that's what
beats
you gave me
all the
already.
time.
Okay, this will
And it works
I need
very
to-
hard to keep you moving through your day, keeping your thoughts clear. It's the most important organ in your body.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. Taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats. That's hennepin.us/heart-beats.
Support for Native Roots Radio comes from the Walker Art Center, an art space that's more than the spoon and cherry. Galleries celebrate contemporary visual art, including Indigenous artists like Edgar Heap Birds, Cheyenne and Arapaho Nation, and Jim Demini, Ojibwe. Additionally, films screen in the cinema, and performances are shown on stage. Free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org. Again, that's walkerart.org.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 62, then Thursday, warm sunshine with a high of 86. Nightingale is your cozy, comfortable neighborhood bar and restaurant at 26th and Lindale in Minneapolis. Come in for the famous Nightingale burger or the ginger tamari chicken wings. View their menu or place a takeout order at nightingalempls.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be Indigenous.
They are going to become more brutal.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots
Can you
Radio,
mute your mic?
and I'm your host, Wakanda Hade. Hey, Kadagi to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. We discuss local, national, Native news and events. And as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
This portion of the show is supported by Native Roots Trading Post. Shop now at causecart.shop. Cause.cart.shop.com.
Yeah, we got a little echo here, Wendy. Let me check the StreamYard here.
There you go. Okay, so Robert and I have Native Roots Trading Post, and we sell a lot of our resist gear. We sell earrings, and we sell all kinds of great stuff there. I'm going to give you the website here in just a second. It is called Cause Cart. So it's critters, and squirrels, and chipmunks, and raccoons, or whoever comes by, the birds. Everybody's thirsty and needs some water, so just put a pan of water outside for our little furry critters out there. Sorry about the delay, and here is Robert.
Hey, thank you, everybody. Hey, we have our friend Arvina Mark, CEO of. Oh, I still have that echo.
Keep talking. Pretend it's not there. Can you hear the echo, Arvina?
I can hear a bit.
A bit, yeah. Okay. So we'll just keep talking. You know what? Tonight, Robert and I will be again at the Minnesota State Capitol tonight from 8 to 9:30. It's a candlelight vigil, and it's for Melissa and her husband, Portman and her husband. It's going to be, I'm sure, very sad and but we will be there at the Minnesota State Capitol tonight in honor of her and her husband. So if you'd like to come and join us, I'm sure there's going to be crowded. You know, Robert and I were there last week, and it was, oh my gosh. I don't hear an echo. Do you hear an echo, Arvina?
I hear something. I'm not sure what's going on.
Okay. Well, let's try it again. We're just going to keep trying. Sorry for the delay. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I can hear a little something, but I don't think it's too bad.
Oh, okay. Hey, thanks, Arvina, for coming on. And geez, we were talking before the show how you know, that you were a person that was elected, and we've had some frightening things happen here this past weekend, and I was wondering if you wanted to comment on that.
Yeah, it's tragic and sad, and is, you know, preventable. The political rhetoric in this country has gotten so heated that people that maybe you know, have less inhibitions or maybe have other things that make them more susceptible to kind of hearing conspiracies, etc. You know, people start believing, and people start putting people on the other side of a political divide that makes the people on the other side less than human, and that makes it or less of an, or even less of an American. You know, I saw some Fox talking head guy saying, you know, there's two kinds of people, you know, the ones that are good citizens, you know, and back up President Trump, or the ones who aren't. And those kind of binaries are awful and really lead to a lot of dehumanizing, and we're seeing the result of it, whether it is you know, the pulling the National Guard against a governor's wishes, you know, and having the National Guard starting or law enforcement starting, you know, engaging in suppressive tactics, shooting tear gas, shooting rubber bullets at citizens who are peacefully protesting and exercising their constitutionally protected rights. You know, we've got a rise of you know, anti-Semitic violence happening. You know, not to mention the violence against Muslims, against Palestinians. It's too easy to make people who agree with you into something that's less than, because then, you know, maybe taking one's life doesn't seem like that big of a stretch. I don't know, but it's absolutely terrifying and very sad.
It is very sad, and it's very scary. I mean, I told a couple of people that I was going to the candlelight vigil tonight at the state capitol, and everybody's like, oh, you know, be really careful, you know, be diligent, look around, make sure you're okay. And it's just like, it's really sad that, you can't even do a candlelight visual and just feel, safe there while you're mourning the loss of people who were murdered. It's really just too much, honestly. And a friend of mine, I said, are you going to be at the Capitol tonight? And she said to me, what she does is she volunteers to help escort people into Planned Parenthood so that they don't, get harassed, and just for like a safety measure. And they're all having, a volunteer type get together tonight. And I said to her, yes, I'll be safe, but you be safe, because she's the one protecting these women as they get out of their car, walking them across the parking lot, while they're being badgered by, protesters, and how horrifying that must feel for her. That we even have to do that in this country today is just, I don't know. I wake up every morning and I'm just like flabbergasted. That's like the only word I could say about how I feel, and like a heaviness. I just feel like a heaviness, that, like what's going to happen next? Like I don't feel safe. Like I don't feel like our country's safe. I don't feel like children at school are safe. I don't feel like if we go to a parade or we, go to an event, that we're safe. And I always feel like I'm on guard the whole time.
Constant vigilance is exhausting.
It is exhausting.
And it's exhausting physically, but it's also exhausting emotionally. And for people that live in a political world, there were some substantial things that happened this weekend. Obviously the assassination of Representative Hortman and her husband, and the shooting of Senator Hoffman and his wife, that's obviously the top line. But this was, we had a United States senator attacked by some kind of security, while he was lawfully.
Take a quick break here, and then we'll be right back. Is that right, Robert?
Yep, we'll be right back.
Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Sorry to interrupt.
Hey, we're here with Arvina Martin, and this is Native Roots Radio.
Your heart beats for generations. Take care of it.
There's a lot that we can do to take care of ourselves. And so I think it's important to take the smaller steps and break it down into more manageable pieces, because the little steps leads to big changes.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. For Indigenous women, taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Let's protect that story. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a to-go card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 612-373-3333.
Minnesota needs diverse teachers who represent our students and communities. Explore teaching degree options at Metro State University's Urban Education Info Session in person at the Minneapolis campus on June 24th. Metro State's programs offer pathways to bachelor's degrees designed for those committed to serving urban communities. Visit campus, get an overview of teaching programs, and meet with an advisor. Sign up at metrostate.edu/urban teacher program. Become a teacher, shape the future. Metro State University.
What does it mean to begin? Creation Story explores Native origin stories through powerful contemporary art, connecting past and present with every brushstroke in sculpture. Explore how identity, culture, and resilience are shaped through art. Creation Story, now at All My Relations Arts through July 26th. This exhibition invites you to the heart of the Ochate-Shikoin storytelling, where spiritual relatives guide the way. Open to all. Learn more at allmyrelationsarts.org. Experience the beginning. Experience Creation Story at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is brought to you by the Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Yes, I do. Hey, we have our friend Arvina Martin on, and Wendy and Arvina were getting in a heavy conversation. I guess, Arvina, I'm wondering if you went through anything like this, because I know you're a political person and you were an elected official, and I know it kind of is coming out. We've had a few politicians on since this tragedy, and they've talked about, we've been threatened before, and so it seemed like it happens a lot more than the public knows.
Yeah, I was threatened, and then assuming once, but it was from a Google phone voice number, so there wasn't anything that could be done. They also spoofed my phone number to make calls to my colleagues, which I didn't do. Yeah, it was a weird situation. But yes, I've been threatened before. When it happened, I think I had my physical address removed from my Alder listing, because we are, or at least in Madison or in Wisconsin, are allowed to do that. So it brings up lots of conversations and discussions about, weighing transparency versus safety of your elected officials, and at what point does safety take over. And I think some are going to be arguing very soon that we are at that point where safety needs to be paramount, and maybe we're going to have to do things like redact information, address information, when posting signatures or other filings that candidates need to do, and just have it confirmed that address is maybe in the district or something by staff. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
No, but it's interesting. Wendy and Arvina, they took down, the state of Minnesota took down all those addresses like this Monday. But it also said that the assassin was looking up these addresses on a paid app. So, I mean, there is that too.
I mean, thank goodness for that. I'm sure that helped in identifying who he was. I presume. But
well, it was interesting. We have a lot of things swirling around here, and one of the things we were talking yesterday, and Wendy and I have talked about this, is that it was amazing to see how put together he was when he was arrested. Now, if this was a BIPOC person, I don't think he would have been looking as nice as he did when he got arrested. So that was one of the first things that kind of struck us.
Oh, absolutely. I also have doubts that he would have escaped even that initial night, because correct me if I'm wrong, but what I have read seems to state that Minneapolis police or St. Paul police had encountered him that night. And
yeah, the Brooklyn police. Yep. Yeah.
I mean, if it had been after midnight and they saw a person of color walking around with tactical gear.
Right. Well, and his wife too, nothing happened to his wife, and she had cash, passports and everything, and she was never arrested either. And again, the double standards that we kind of noticed right away when it came to that. Of course, like Wendy was saying in the first segment, we were devastated. We know her, we've worked with her, we've talked to her, I have selfies of her. And so it was really a numbing feeling. And then do we go to the march at the Capitol? And so all these things were happening and having an assassin do this on that certain date and try and throw things off from the No Kings march really made us want to go. But there's all these things that are swirling around too, because it's just a little while ago was the anniversary of George Floyd, and then we see these white people that are murdering people, go to McDonald's or something before they go in jail. That it's just really glaring, I guess, for us.
It's glaring and it's disheartening, which is like, I mean, a very, very mild word to describe kind of the emotion, but it's disheartening that, these perceptions get in people's brains and get into, the consciences or consciousnesses, one of the two. But, and can have those kinds of like enormous effects, like ending somebody's life. And I want to say too that Representative Hortman had a lot of friends in Wisconsin. And I know that there are a lot of people here mourning her loss as well. So we share that sense of mourning and sense of loss.
Absolutely. I want to ask you a question, Arvina. Yeah. When you walk into your state capitol in Wisconsin, do you have to go through a metal detector or put your purse on a belt that goes through some security? I think that's going to be changing soon too. We don't have that here either. We've had that a couple of times. We've had where we've had the what are they called, metal detectors up at entrances, and that was after September 11th. There was more security. We had some times where there were threats to, or during the Act 10 protests, there was higher security then. I'm sure there's more that I'm not remembering because I didn't work in the building at the time. But it doesn't seem to stick around long. But
interesting.
I guess maybe we'll see.
Yeah. Well, one of the things, we only got a couple minutes. I know we're on a tight schedule here, and I want you to talk. You're the CEO of Emerge Wisconsin. Talk about maybe what that's doing. Are you rethinking some strategies in your classes with these politicians? And again, let our people know, we're all over Wisconsin here on Native Roots Radio, what Emerge Wisconsin is.
Yeah, we are an organization that identifies and trains women and non-binary folks to and train them to be candidates for public office, Democratic women and trans or women and non-binary folks. My apologies. And we give them all of the information and all the tools that they need to run a successful campaign for public office. And we are working really hard right now. I've been working hard trying to connect folks that maybe are dealing with trauma and trying to find resources for them to, help them process this trauma. We are looking at and have been looking at, are working on a new training module that will detail information about candidate safety and digital safety. And we're also working on, and something I'm planning to offer my alums is a training, like a continuing education training on trauma-informed leadership and what that means, and what is, what they can do in a good way. How can we move on from this in a good way, the best way that we can. And how can we continue to fight for the things that Representative Hortman and her husband stood for and worked for?
Yeah. Wow. Really good point. One thing I was going to ask you too, I know you got to get going and we only have like less than a minute left. Were you able to participate in the No Kings rallies this past weekend?
I missed them. My sister's, he knew her oldest daughter graduated from high school on Saturday. So we were at graduation. Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Arvina, I really appreciate you being on, and there'll be more of those coming up for sure. And
absolutely.
Sorry about the technical difficulties in the beginning of the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good to see you. Have a great day. That was Arvina Martin, of CEO of Emerge Wisconsin. And up next, we got our Little Moments segment, a monthly segment with Barb Fabre, and she's been on before, so this will be really great. Hey, you're listening to Native Roots Radio, and we'll be right back after this short break.
Stay with us.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a to-go card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 612-373-3333.
Rudy Luther Toyota is the dealer you can trust. Go to rudyluthertoyota.com to browse their inventory of new and certified pre-owned vehicles. Style, performance, and reliability. You can find it all at Rudy Luther. With every new and certified pre-owned vehicle, you'll get a Luther Advantage card, save 10 cents per gallon at the pump, and get $6 Works car washes at Holiday Station stores. That's right. You can get a great vehicle and help stretch your budget even further. Rudy Luther Toyota, the southeast corner of 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
Think your company's safe? Your staff is working from home, right? As I speak, cyber criminals are mounting attacks across the country. Remember, when we're weakest, cyber criminals attack. Hi, Mark Sommerfeld from Rymark. The Rymark team is guiding our clients through these difficult times. In fact, demand has been so high, we created an easy-to-follow guide. It's yours free. Download our 5 steps to securely work from home now at rymarkit.com or call 651-328-8900 for a no-cost how-to discussion.
When was the last time you had your roof inspected for extreme weather and hail damage? This is Chad, owner of AM 950, to talk about the exterior construction company I trust, Snap Construction. If you've noticed new roofing projects in your neighborhood, your home was likely hit by hail last summer and experienced damage. Snap Construction is helping homeowners like you, and they're the roofing specialists I trust. They are the most well-reviewed contractor in the Twin Cities and have a ton of positive customer reviews from homeowners just like you. Even better, Snap Construction's installations are backed by a lifetime warranty, so you know you're dealing with a qualified roofing expert. You want to work with a company that will be here for a long time after the work is done. Snap Construction has handled thousands of claims and will help you through the process. Do yourself a favor and get a free roofing inspection so you have the facts and peace of mind you deserve. Call Snap Construction today at 612-333-SNAP. That's 612-333-SNAP, or visit snapconstruction.com.
Hey, it's Jennifer from AM 950. I'm 57, and lately I've definitely been feeling it. Lower back pain, hip aches, brain fog, and serious lack of energy. That's when I decided to try Hypercharge Wellness, and I'm so glad I did. At Hypercharge Wellness, they focus on proactive wellness and medication-free solutions to help you feel better and live healthier. Their FDA-approved light therapy helped reduce my chronic pain and inflammation, and the results have been nothing short of life-changing. My back pain and stiffness are improving, and I'm finally starting to feel like myself again. They also offer laser therapy that targets muscles and joints, perfect for injury recovery and pain management. Whether you're dealing with fatigue, chronic pain, or mental fog, Hypercharge Wellness has treatments designed just for you to boost energy, improve clarity, and reduce inflammation. Take control of your health and wellness today with their $49.99 introductory session and consultation at any of their 3 locations. Visit hyperchargeclinic.com for more information.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 62, then Thursday, warm sunshine with a high of 86. Nightingale is your cozy, comfortable neighborhood bar and restaurant at 26th and Lindale in Minneapolis. Come in for the famous Nightingale burger or the ginger tamari chicken wings. View their menu or place a takeout order at nightingalempls.com.
You're listening to AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Oh, this is Dallas Goldtooth, and you're listening to the Native Roots Radio. Hoka Hicha Waicha.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Native American Community Development Institute, or NACD, in Minneapolis.
Hey, we do have, we just have our friend Barb Fabre on, and welcome, Barb. So I know you're a little under the weather, so I really appreciate you coming on, and I just have to just do this quick read here. This episode of Native Roots Radio is presented in partnerships with Little Moments Count. Little Moments Count is a statewide collaborative focused on helping parents and caregivers learn about the importance of brain development in the first 3 years. And Barb, I don't know, we're Facebook friends, but you see we have our grandchildren every Wednesday, and Wendy's working hard, and it's always great to have you on. And I just want to give you a quick bio too. Barb is the CEO of Indigenous Visioning and All Nations Rise, and you're an enrolled member of White Earth Ojibwe Nation. And again, welcome, and thank you so much for being on.
Bonjour, I'm happy to be on. It's always fun to come here and visit with you all, and I learn so much when I go away, and hopefully I'm sharing information that helps you and others in Indian country.
Absolutely. Hey, I just want to start off too and congratulate you on the Ideas Grant. Can you share what this funding kind of means for Rise, All Nations Rise and Indigenous Visionings?
Sure. So we applied for the Ideas Grant, and that is through the St. Paul and Minnesota Foundation, as well as the Mardag and F.R. Bigelow Foundation. Ideas, it's a community ideas, which stands for Impact, Development, Equity, Agency, and Solutions. And we were selected out of 30 Native-led organizations that serve tribal communities. So we're very excited about it.
Wow, that's awesome. And again, when you're not on, I know we talk about Indigenous boxes and the things that you do that are so groundbreaking, simple, and awesome. What the Indigenous Box Project offers culturally based activities for young children, and let's talk a little bit about that, because I always love talking about that, and I always beg you too to do one for adults. Oh, wow.
Hey, great idea. Well, hopefully adults get something out of Indigibox as well, because through them, they're teaching the children the activities, the cultural activities, the language, legends. So hopefully, they're retaining that as they're sharing that out with the kids in their care.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about the caregivers too, not only the parents, but the ages are a birth to 3 that are incorporated in these daily routines. And again, I have to be, we're Ho-Chunk here, but the father's Ojibwe, so we might have to get one of those special delivered here.
Grandma here is Sicilian, so we do a little Italian, we do a little Ho-Chunk, we do a little Ojibwe, we do a little bit of everything here in the house with the babies. Yeah.
And one could be created for the Italian culture. I mean, it's endless what Indigibox could be, because we all have our own cultures, right? And we embrace them all, and some of us are blessed with many cultures. So that's what we highlight in Indigibox. So we designed it for early childhood up to grade 8, and our first boxes were for classrooms of 20, like Head Start or preschools, childcare centers. But then as we learned more, other people wanted to also use it. And so the activities in our big boxes are for a classroom of 20 kids. And so family childcare typically doesn't have 20 kids. Families don't typically have 20 kids. So, so we're with this new grant fund, we're able to expand it and create boxes just for family childcare, our families, and FFN, what we are. and as we care for our babies. So we're hopefully going to reach a broader population, our group, and it'll be less expensive than the full big box. And we're also doing some changes to how people can order Indigibox. Prior, it was a subscription box that classrooms received 4 times a year based on the seasons. However, now we're looking at putting everything up a la carte so that people can purchase what they want and the size they want. So we're really excited about that.
That is exciting, and I hope you come back, even if it isn't with not with Little Moments Count, but let us know when that comes up, because we'd really like to amplify that all across Turtle Island, and we'd probably like to get one too, Wendy.
Absolutely.
One or two, or subscribe.
Yeah.
That is really good news, because we've been talking over the years, Barb, and we talk about your boxes all the time, even when you're not around. So
appreciate that.
And it's a great way to do it. And talk a little bit too about the early bonding with the language development, because we have a godchild, Wendy and I, that they are bilingual. They speak Spanish and English, and it took them longer, Wendy, to start talking, because they were their neurons in their brain were doubling up on 2 languages at once.
They can do that. Children from the early years, as you know, the brain is developed 80% by age 5. So whatever you're introducing to them, their brains are little sponges, and they're just soaking it up. And so by teaching 2 languages, it is like really intensifying their learning, and their brains are just going crazy, and that's super good for them. So
what kind of authentic items, cultural items, are the key parts of Indigenous Box? I'd really like to know that. And again, I think the caregivers and the parents will be learning or relearning at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we want to make it authentic. So we look for cultural items that are significant and a normal thing that Indigenous children see. The drum, and powwows, and just the teachings from the four seasons, which is pretty common across all Indigenous cultures. And so we want to make sure that whatever we're providing or purchasing for the cultural item in the box, that it's made from local crafters. And we are always looking for crafters. And so, any of your listeners out there, we hope if you're a crafter, get a hold of us at www.indigenousvisioning.com. And through the contact form, we'd love to hear from you and see what your craft is. You won't see any made in Japan items in the box. And, so we look to our tribal communities to help provide everything from the stories to the cultural item to the books. Everything in it is from Indian country.
And that's awesome, Barb, because we talk about powwows here, and we do powwows with Native Roots Trading Post too. And we always talk to our listeners and say, ask them who made this. When you go to a powwow, you can ask people who designed these earrings or who made these earrings. And if they can't tell you, it's probably not an Indigenous person. So that's really cool to hear that you just automatically are doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's so many talented people out there, and boy, you look at what the things they can make, and it's amazing. So we want to highlight that too, and then we also highlight our crafters in our books and our magazine, so that other people can purchase from them if they want to. So it's just something that is very natural for us, and we want to get away from that stereotype in the classrooms, and we want to teach the truth and the real Indigenous tribal communities and how beautiful they are and everything that comes from them.
That's beautiful too. And when we go for our walks, Wendy and I, we are picking up books on those libraries. But you always also have books paired with the activities that are part of Indigenous Box. And how can parents and caregivers very young use these books from Indigenous authors to foster, early literacy? And you talked a little bit about that, but specifically, how about books?
Yeah, we try to find books from Indigenous authors, our Indigenous publishers. We go to like Indigenous stores like Birch Bark in Minneapolis. We purchase from them. So we're always on the hunt for those authentic books or anything else. And we just want to, again, highlight all the beautiful, talented people out there. And we do that through Indigibox while teaching, restoring our language and our teachings and our legends that our ancestors have passed down over centuries.
That's awesome. And one of the things too, I'm picturing, and I don't know if you have shared with us before, but what does the box look like?
Oh, so we got brand new boxes that'll be on the website. We're super excited. My daughter, actually, she's an artist, and she created the artwork on the new Indigibox. And so that'll be up on the website soon. The grant allowed us to actually do things like that. We've been short-staffed and just haven't had a lot of time that we need to, incorporate Indigibox into the mainstreams of early childhood classrooms and elementary. So this grant just helped us immensely, rethink Indigibox to make it more accessible and affordable for families.
Hey, we're here with Barb Fabre, is CEO of Indigenous Visioning and All Nations Rise, and this is our portion of Little Moments Count, a statewide collaboration focusing on helping parents and caregivers learn about the importance of brain development. And we're going to be talking more about the grant and Indigenous Box. This is Native Roots Radio.
Stay with us.
Signing up for $1 bus and train rides with the Transit Assistance Program, or TAP, is quick and easy. Do it straight from your computer or phone by uploading one of the pre-approved documents listed at metrotransit.org/TAP, along with a copy of your ID. We'll mail you a to-go card with a full year of discounted rides. For questions or translation help, call 612-373-3333. 612-373-3333.
Do you have a personal financial goal like buying a car, starting a business, saving for college, or investing for retirement? Whatever your goal is, you need a plan. It might seem overwhelming, but like physical fitness, you can gradually improve your financial health step by step. Start by creating a spending plan, improving your credit score, opening a bank account, or finding a trusted advisor. Not sure where to start? Visit mn.gov/commerce/money for more.
Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of Indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NAGD. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting nagd.org.
Your heart beats for generations.
Your heart is so many things. It beats all the time, and it works very hard to keep you moving through your day, keeping your thoughts clear. It's the most important organ in your body.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. Taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats. That's hennepin.us/heart-beats.
Anine, I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of Native Roots Radio is presented in partnership with Minnesota Public Radio and Little Moments Counts.
Hey, we are here with our friend Barb Fabre, and we're talking about a couple things here. We're talking about the Ideas Award that Indigibox got, and that stands for Impact Development Equity Agency and Solutions. And a big congratulations, and so well deserved. And you're going to be able to ramp this up and in a better way for the caregivers and the parents. It's just a win-win situation. Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here and share our good news. We were very excited to be selected and humbled, because I'm sure all the other organizations were just as amazing. So, yeah, we're excited. We're going to be able to do Lakota and Dakota Box is going to be our next project. And it also aligns with our Family, Friends, and Neighbor program that we have. We have a lot of unlicensed childcare providers through our FFN, which you two are, and me and my husband are. We take care of our babies, our grandbabies. And sometimes it's for pay and sometimes it's not. And so we want to make sure, our FFN families are getting what they receive and the supports that they need as well. So we're super excited with both of our projects. We're incorporating Lakota and Dakota. So we'll be reaching out to the communities and the elders to get their perspective and help us build that.
That's awesome. We talk about this, but I think it's great to bring it up, and also it's good for me to listen. But we talk about the first year, 3 years from birth to 3 years, and how crucial language development is. And Indigenous Box supports and preserves or revitalization of our language, and that's so important. We can't. And just kudos to you. It's just so important. And we've been talking about this kind of thing for years, but you're doing it.
Yeah, it was, we learned from experience that there wasn't a lot of culture in early childhood programs. There's great websites out there, but, not everybody accesses them. So we thought, what's the next best thing that we can bring into classrooms? And just imagine children, learning and in the whole classrooms learning an Ojibwe word, that they use in their home. And we're bringing back that pride to be Indigenous. And it's also, for non-Native children, they're learning about the diverse world, and they're learning about community members.
Yeah, absolutely. And that cannot hurt, especially these days with a lot of our history being erased. So good on Indigibox, and good on what you're doing. Hey, looking forward, how do you hope to work with Indigibox and All Nations Rise will impact lives of Indigenous children and their families during these crucial years? How can community members support this important work? And this is a call to action that we try to bring out, but it's also really, I don't know what the word is, but I'm trying to say that you guys deserve all the support you can get. So how can people support you?
Oh, I appreciate that. They can purchase our Indigibox for their classrooms or for their home, and share. Maybe they're a crafter again, and an author, and we'd love to support them as well. And, we the grant also allowed us to have an extra staff. So now we'll be able to get out on the road and take Indigibox out on the road to school districts, to conferences, to early childhood programs. So just help spread the word, and go to our website and learn more. Our new website will be done shortly. We're working on it now. So that's another thing the grant allowed us to do, is to really spruce it up and make it more user friendly.
Do you want to give that out now, or is it under construction?
Well, it's our indigenousvisioning.com website, and on there they just click on the Indigibox button and it'll take them right there. So our old ordering process is up now, but in a couple months we'll launch our new website, and so hopefully everybody will check it out.
Well, come back on, because we definitely want to.
Yeah, we're excited about
our
it.
grandkids
In
are
our
10 months
house,
old.
you
We need them.
know?
We need them
We
sooner.
do. Yes.
I'll send you my address.
All right.
No, we're excited.
And then maybe in a few years you'll do Ho Chunk. Ho.
Oh, yes, we can. Yes, we can. It's, you know, that is a dream. That is my big dream, is to have it in as many different languages that we can, because they're all beautiful, and there's kids that can benefit from it, and classrooms that can benefit from authentic Indigenous stories and legends.
Well, we have a few minutes, and I've exhausted my questions, but I have a question. How did you start this? And well, specifically, let's ask, how did you come up with Indigibox? And I think we talked about that a few years ago, but let's hear that story again.
Sure. After I worked for my tribe for about 30 years, and for mostly in the early childhood services. And my friend and colleague, Tammy Finn, and I started Indigenous Visioning. And we both left the tribe. She left Leech Lake and I left White Earth. And so we were like, you know, she showed me one of her subscription boxes. I'd never seen a subscription box. So she showed it to me, and we were like, geez, we should indigenize this. And, you know, so we just, one thing led to another. So we created 50 boxes just to see if it's something, and sent it out to our networks. And within 4 days, we were sold out. So, and we were like, okay, this is something. So, and then we just start doing it. And honestly, some of our teachers, especially the non-native teachers, are so excited about it. They love it because, you know, they're not sure of themselves when most of the classrooms require some sort of culture, and you know, they didn't have anything. And if they're in a tribal community, you know, they're just not unsure what to bring in, and then also to tie it to child outcomes. Because as an early childhood classroom, you have to have outcomes with everything you do in there. So we made it easy, and we did that for them. So our new boxes will be tied to child outcomes through the Minnesota Early Learning Standards, Teaching Strategies Gold, and High Scope, which is one of the more popular curriculums in schools. So we wanted to make it easy for teachers, and we provide material that they won't find in the classroom, and we provide everything in there, and we offer teacher prompts so they can engage children in the learning of that lesson. So yeah, it's from experience, because I monitored and ran several childcare centers, and so did Tammy, and so we knew there wasn't anything in there. So and then we worked with Head Start programs. We knew it wasn't in there. Elementary, we knew it wasn't in there. So we just decided to try it, and you know, it took off. It resonated with people, and they were appreciative.
Wow, I can see because we're always excited when we talk about it. And Wendy's over here. I don't know, Wendy, have you heard about this before? I don't think you've been on
No, I haven't.
on
No,
a
I haven't.
on a Little Moment show
Yeah,
with me.
I
Well,
haven't.
that's exciting. And I just want to have one last question, because we got 30 seconds left. How many years have you been working on this to perfect this?
We're going on our 3rd year of Indigibox.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we have quite a few volumes of activities in there, And again, they'll all be up on the website soon. So you'll be able to see everything that we have in all previous Indigiboxes, and you can purchase them as you want them, a la carte.
Well, let me know so we get you on right away so we can purchase one.
We need to get you one. Yes.
Please do. Thank you so much, Barb.
Thank you.
Barb Fabre, and a Little Moments Count episode here. And this is Native Roots Radio, and we're going to see you tomorrow, Wendy.
See you tomorrow.
Your heart beats for generations. Take care of it.